wanting Charlie's caricature to survive.
Imagine a packed university tent, lights beaming down, thousands hanging on every word as Charlie Kirk strides to the podium. In an instant, cheers are swallowed by chaos, a single shot rings out, bodies dive for cover, and the conservative world tumbles into disbelief. Rumors ignite. This wasn't the work of a random gunman but someone with insider access, someone close enough to know Charlie's every move. Then comes the bombshell whisper on social media, that Charlie's own wife might have betrayed him, and the moment Candace Owens hears it, she erupts in fury. Her outburst sends shockwaves through the internet, and suddenly everyone is asking, what really happened that night, and who pulled the trigger on trust itself? Eyewitnesses paint a chilling picture of the shooting, a calm, collected shooter firing from a rooftop, hands steady, aim unflinching. Security guards scrambled, students screamed, and amid the panic, Charlie Kirk fell to the ground. Official reports finger a 22-year-old named Tyler Robinson, but the police affidavit hints at something more sinister. The shooter seemed to have precise knowledge of Charlie's schedule, the exact tent layout, the emergency exit he planned to use. That level of detail isn't luck. It suggests someone on the inside fed him critical intel. Was this a lone gunman with a grudge, or a carefully orchestrated operation protected by hidden backers? In the hours following the tragedy, all eyes turned to Erica Kirk, Charlie's wife. Her first public posts were meant to honor her husband's memory, but many viewers found them strangely polished, almost rehearsed. Comments poured in accusing her of delivering a calculated performance instead of raw grief. Why was she so composed? People asked. Why did her words feel like a press release? As speculation mounted, conspiracy theories sprouted across forums and feeds, each one painting Erica as either a grieving widow or a cunning mastermind. When a spouse ends up under suspicion, public opinion often follows. In this case, it spiraled into outright accusations of betrayal. Candace Owens, Charlie's longtime friend and confidant, refused to stay silent. Within hours, she was live on Instagram, voice trembling with anger and sorrow, unleashing a scathing critique, "Betrayed by his pillow," she shouted, coining a phrase that would explode across social media. Screenshots of her tirade flooded TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook, each repost fueling the narrative that Erica might have orchestrated the entire tragedy. Candace's followers ate it up, sharing her every word and demanding answers from anyone who would listen. In her eyes, this went beyond politics. It struck at the heart of personal loyalty, and she was determined to expose the truth. As the hashtag betrayed by his pillow trended, Candace shifted gears from outrage to remembrance. She posted a raw slideshow of moments she and Charlie shared away from the spotlight. Candid shots of laughter, late-night conversations, and genuine smiles that revealed the man behind the public persona. Each slide peeled back the caricature of the ambitious culture warrior and showed a vulnerable friend. Even critics admitted they felt a pang of loss. In contrast, Erica's carefully worded statements now seemed hollow, lacking the warmth and spontaneity of true mourning. For many, Candace's tribute crystallized the suspicion that someone else, someone closer, was hiding a darker agenda. When official documents finally surfaced, charging Tyler Robinson with aggravated murder, Candace refused to accept the indictment at face value. "This is part of the story, not the whole story," she declared. Behind the formal charges, she hinted at whispers of bribes from a billionaire trying to cow Charlie into softening his stance on Israel, threats made in shadowy backrooms, and a conspiracy so vast it dwarfed a single shooter's motives. She demanded proof, personal testimony, and transparency, refusing to let the investigation be brushed aside as another routine criminal case. To her, the stakes were higher. This was about exposing the invisible forces that might have conspired against her friend. Meanwhile, the Kirk family found itself ripped apart by suspicion. Reports emerged that Charlie's parents had quietly cut off Erica, convinced she knew more than she was letting on. Yet on the other side of the fence, a handful of in-laws rallied around her, insisting she was being scapegoated by a hungry media. The once tight circle of family and friends now looked fractured, with each side trading barbs in hushed conversations and closed-door meetings. As the internal feud played out in private messages and whispered rumors, public scrutiny only intensified. Observers wondered, if even Charlie's closest kin couldn't agree on Erica's innocence, how could anyone else be sure who was telling the truth? The mainstream news coverage added another layer of complexity. While Erica's social media posts were dissected clip by clip, the alleged shooter Tyler Robinson received a notably muted treatment. Few outlets delved into his background or his motives. Instead, they fixated on every nuance of Erica's behavior. That glaring imbalance didn't escape Candace's notice. In another live session, she called out journalists for soft-pedaling the shooter while treating the grieving wife like a criminal on trial. Why is the man who pulled the trigger protected from scrutiny, and the widow subjected to a cross-examination? She demanded. Her question resonated with a growing section of the public tired of sensational headlines and biased narratives. Out of the swirling controversy, a movement began to form. Supporters rallied behind Candace's call for a full, unfiltered account of events. Online petitions demanded the release of all police records, body cam footage, and witness testimonies. Podcasts and live streams dissected every angle. Was this tragedy driven by ideology, greed, or something even more personal? Late-night forums buzzed with theories about offshore accounts, secret meetings, and coded messages in Erica's posts. The debate spilled onto parking lots, into living rooms, and around dinner tables as people questioned not just what happened to Charlie Kirk, but who stood to gain from his downfall. Through it all, one question remained: would official investigations pierce the fog of rumors and reveal the real story, or would this saga be forever clouded by conjecture and clickbait? The ticking clock of public memory favored sensationalism over sober inquiry, and every new social media alert risked burying the facts beneath another wave of speculation. Yet for every conspiracy theory, there were genuine cries for justice, a desire to honor Charlie's legacy by seeking the truth, no matter how uncomfortable. In this battle between grief and gossip, loyalty and lies, the only certainty is that the line between friend and foe has never been blurrier. In the end, perhaps the greatest betrayal was not a single act of violence but the erosion of trust itself. A community once united by common beliefs now finds itself divided by doubt and suspicion. A wife once seen as the pillar of her husband's life now faces the darkest of accusations. And a friend who rose to defend him now stands at the center of a media maelstrom, demanding answers that may never come. Whether or not Charlie Kirk was betrayed by his pillow, this story has laid bare how quickly faith in loved ones can shatter, and how perilous the search for truth becomes when every whisper can spark a wildfire.